At $100 trillion per gram, antimatter is the most expensive substance you can find. The price tag comes entirely from its volatility. If a single particle of it touches normal matter, it explodes. This diagram shows a standard electron next to its antimatter twin, a positron. They share the exact same mass and the exact same size, but their electrical charges are completely inverted. If we let them touch, they annihilate. 100% of their combined mass is converted entirely into pure energy, functioning as a perfect physical demonstration of Einstein's E equals mc squared. Physicist Paul Dirac found this bizarre substance purely by accident in 1928. He was working through an equation to describe an electron and stumbled onto a negative energy solution, a phantom particle that the math required to exist. That mathematical quirk proved that antimatter is a baked-in feature of reality, and its existence sets up the largest missing persons case in physics. In the extreme heat immediately following the Big Bang, the universe was a dense plasma. That intense energy forged perfectly equal amounts of matter and antimatter, continuously popping into physical existence in pairs. But if those amounts were perfectly equal, every single particle should have found its antimatter twin and annihilated. The universe should have completely emptied itself out, leaving behind nothing but dead radiation. As this visualization of the early universe shows, that grand annihilation did happen. But there was a tiny glitch. Exactly 1 out of every 1 billion matter particles somehow survived the wipeout, left entirely alone in the void. Every physical object we can observe today is built from that tiny fraction of lucky leftover matter. Every star, ocean, and person comes from that 1 in a billion survivor. To figure out why we exist instead of a vast empty expanse of light, physicists need to capture that missing twin and interrogate it. Because almost no antimatter naturally exists today, scientists have to manufacture it. That forensic work happens underground here, at CERN. To build it, they accelerate protons to 99.93% the speed of light and violently smash them into a dense iridium target. The raw energy of that collision forces new antiprotons into existence. But that extreme energy creates an immediate engineering problem. The newly spawned antiprotons are moving far too fast to study. As we can see in this schematic of the Elena decelerator ring, the high-speed particles enter the loop and are carefully stepped down. With each revolution, the machine hits the brakes until the antimatter reaches a manageable pace. Spawning the antiprotons is relatively easy. The truly difficult part is building a container for a substance that destroys itself the moment it touches anything in our world. How do you build a box for a substance when the walls of the box itself will cause it to instantly explode? Looking at this technical cross-section of a penning trap, we can see how they solved it. Overlapping magnetic and electric field lines act as invisible walls, suspending the antimatter perfectly in the center of an absolute vacuum. This method is remarkably effective. CERN has managed to hold highly volatile antimatter in complete nothingness for over 600 days without a single annihilation. These traps are now stable enough that researchers can load them onto a truck and physically transport the antimatter across the campus to other laboratories. Mastering that containment finally gives physicists the time they need to run precise tests, looking for the specific cosmic glitch that allowed us to be here. Experiments like Alpha G and G bar are looking for a behavioral discrepancy. They are hunting for a tiny flaw in the perfect symmetry between matter and antimatter. To run these tests, they cool antihydrogen down to micro-Kelvin temperatures so the violently vibrating atoms become perfectly still. Then, they ask a simple question. Does antimatter fall down like normal matter, or does gravity repel it, causing it to fall up? Observing a microscopic difference in how antimatter reacts to gravity would shatter our standard models of physics. It could finally explain that 1 in a billion survival of our universe. But you don't actually need to be in a multi-billion-dollar underground facility to find antimatter. It quietly exists right inside your everyday life. Common objects like bananas contain trace amounts of the radioactive isotope potassium-40. As that isotope naturally decays, it emits positrons, and your body does the exact same thing. Through that same trace radioactive decay, the average human naturally produces roughly 180 athotrons every hour. While physicists build massive underground machines to figure out why the universe survived its own creation, each of us is silently operating as our own little antimatter factory.